Hello team. In the previous section, we covered the basic details of ClickUp software, and we also went through the introduction, the download and installation process. In today's video, we are going to focus on understanding the ClickUp project hierarchy. This hierarchy is very important because it helps us organize our work in a structured and efficient way. Workspace. Let's begin with the first level, which is the workspace. A workspace represents the organization or company you're working in. It could be a large company, a startup, or even your own small business. For example, it could be something like Fulcrum Engineering, Burger Point, Capital Store, or MJ Mart. An important concept is to understand that each workspace is completely independent. This means that if you create multiple workspaces, the tasks and data in one workspace will not affect the other. Each workspace works separately, which is very useful when managing different organizations or projects at the same time. Next, we have spaces. A space can be understood as a category or department within the workspace. So if the workspace represents your company, then spaces represent different functions inside that company. For example, you might create spaces for hiring, training, task allocation, or operations. Each space is dedicated to a specific type of work, which makes it easier to manage and organize tasks within that category. Lists and folders. Now, inside each space, we create lists and folders. Lists help us organize work further by dividing it into specific areas or departments. For instance, if your space is hiring or recruitment, then your list could represent different departments such as marketing, sales, or development. Folders, on the other hand, are used to group multiple lists together. They also allow you to manage related documents, files, and resources in one place. This gives you flexibility in how you want to structure your work. Overall, lists and folders help in creating a more detailed and organized system within each space. Tasks and subtasks. Finally, inside the list, we have tasks and subtasks, which represent the actual work being done. Tasks are the main activities, such as conducting interviews, finalizing salaries, preparing contracts, or scheduling meetings. These are the actions that need to be completed. Subtasks are smaller steps within a task. For example, if the task is employee onboarding, the subtask could include document verification, setting up salary details, and scheduling training sessions. This breakdown helps ensure that work is managed properly and nothing is missed. So we've reached the end of the hierarchy. So in the end, let's summarize the ClickUp hierarchy quickly once again. We started with the workspace, which represents the organization. Then we have spaces, which act as categories or departments. Inside spaces, we use lists and folders to further organize the work. Finally, tasks and subtasks represent the actual activities being performed. In the next part, we will move towards the practical side and see how to implement all these concepts inside the ClickUp software. So let's get started with the practical implementation of the hierarchy. So here's the main page of ClickUp currently. As you saw, that we created the workspace much earlier by the name of Omer's workspace. So the workspace represents our company or organization. So next we have to create spaces. So in the spaces, you can see right on the left side, we have the new space option. So for space, we can write final year project. Okay, description is optional, so we can leave it. We can also change the icon. So let's see any interesting icon here. Okay, let's put the arrow currently. Let's change the color of this and put it to red. Okay, that seems okay. Let's continue. So we have 3 options to choose from. In fact, we have 4. We have a few templates for the workflows. We can have the starter option. We have the marketing team option, the project management, and the product and engineering option. So currently, let's stay on the starter option. Then we have the option to change our views. Let's click on it. So the number of views options we have. So currently, let's click all of them. The calendar, the map view, activity, team, Gantt chart. We'll go through the details in the later chapters. Okay, we also have tasks to choose from. These are fairly simple tasks. We can also add for the tasks. For example, we have to do. So we can write in research and development in R&D. Let's just put it R&D. Okay, we also have a color to choose from. Let's put this green. Okay, let's put another status in the progress. Let's say pending. Let's put this yellow. For complete. Okay, closed, we have done. For done, let's add another status. For in review, let's put this red also. So let's apply the changes. Okay, we also have the click apps option. So the number of options, currently let's click all of them. We might be needing them later on. Okay, we also have the work in progress limits, but this is the paid feature. So let's ignore that, but we can do without it currently. So create space. So here you are. We've created a space. So inside the space, let's add some tasks and subtasks. And also lists. So let's add a list over here. So let's create a list. Okay, the list name would be planning. And we'll be planning here. Okay, these are AI suggestions. Okay, let's put no thanks currently. So here's the planning list. So inside the planning, we can also add tasks. So our task would be a project proposal. Our team will be working on it. So it's fairly simple. And inside the project proposal, we can add subtasks. So for project proposal, a subtask could be define scope. We could also write set objectives. Let's add one more subtask. Approval from the supervisor would be okay. So we can close it now. You can see there's an option 3 over here, which represents the number of subtasks. So we can also add subtasks from outside. Okay, I think it was this part. Yeah, from here. Approval from the client. Just another random subtask. Okay, so I think these were the basic steps. We learned about workspaces, which we had created earlier, Omar's workspace. Then we created a list by the name of planning. The list had tasks and also subtasks. So yeah, that was a practical implementation. Thank you.